What's up, everybody? We're live. Financial Tides. Exciting week. Once again on the internets and in the Cellframe community. You know, I got no beard today. You might not recognize me. This is Gleb from the Cellframe content team. Hello, hello. You know, got my beard chopped off. This is a sign of being ready for battle. You know, the history of shaving. The Greeks, they would the youth would never have a beard in Greek art, but the older, wiser men like me would always have their beard as a symbol of their gravitas. But then, with Alexander the Great and his conquering army, they started shaving because Alexander didn't want the enemies to be able to grab your beard in battle, and hack at you. So it was a sign of my readiness to go to war, in mimetic warfare for Cellframe. I've shaved, we'll see how it goes. Anyway, so today what I wanted to talk about was I'm thinking about the future of Cellframe and what kinds of applications are coming up that are hot, that are being talked about, that are perfect to run on Cellframe rails. And of course, I thought about AI agents. Now let me try to share my screen here. Oh, it seems to be working. All right. So I'm going to get to talking about what Cellframe and AI agents. That's kind of my main thing I want to cover. But first, I wanted to talk about some macro stuff. So it was an exciting week in politics as well. We've got Mark Zuckerberg on Joe Rogan talking about all the stuff that went on with tech censorship that I've covered already before. We've got Peter Thiel also writing about that in the old Financial Times, my old friend. But I kind of want to maybe talk about that more next week in depth because we've got the Trump inauguration coming up next week. In this coming week. So we'll talk more about politics and stuff next week. And this week we've got some interesting stuff. Kind of, in the whole macro scene right now, it's a little bit schizophrenic. There was the Trump bump, but it didn't seem to last very long. And there's a lot of pessimism in the market. I think, I've mentioned that there's a general sense of a tech bubble. And then there's this sort of the popping of the quantum bubble that happened that you see before you hear with Jensen, and his comments about the future of quantum computing. But yeah, so the macro right now is a little bit schizophrenic, and it's funny on the politics side. We've got Gary Gensler, the head of the SEC. He's on his way out, and he was making comments about crypto, and he did the parting shots at crypto, and he said that it's an industry that's built on avoiding regulation or not being compliant, non-compliance. And that's kind of fucked up because Gensler is the one whose fault it is that there is no clear regulations to which you can comply. I can tell you from being in numerous crypto conferences in America, all anyone wants is for fucking Gensler to just give some clear, normal rules, and then everyone is going to comply like little bunnies. They want to comply. They're sick of being non-compliant. So here's Gensler saying, I'm on my way out, but you guys haven't been complying. It's like, well, fuck you. But the other thing he said was that crypto is very based on sentiment and no real value. And in a sense, that's true. I mean, we all know degens and whatever. Shout out to degen traders out there trying 1000x and all that. That's all cool. The funny thing is, everything is based on sentiment now, though. Like, there's no, what goes up and down in tech is based on sentiment also. So to say that crypto runs on sentiment, look at what happened to quantum stocks. Okay, so we've got like this thing Rigetti is now down 46% after Jensen, the CEO of NVIDIA, said that the quantum is still decades away. All right, so we've got Jensen coming in, quashing quantum hype. But the crazy thing is, the quantum hype was so big. the companies mentioned here, they were up 200, 300%. Okay, I mean, I think it's good that Cellframe went up. It didn't go up 500% on the quantum hype. Some of these companies, uh, which haven't really delivered much, they went up 500%, and um, even companies that had quantum in their name. So there's a company that just had quantum in the name that produces magnetic tape, and they went up 200% on the quantum hype. So Gensler, crypto is not special in being just motivated by sentiment. Actually, your normal stock market is also like that. Um, Let me just check here. Yeah. Uh, well, mm, anyway, so quantum something, right? This company had a name that was like quantum something, and they got magnetic tape company, and they went up 200%. So that's what happened right now. All that's coming back down to earth, and I want to give a shout out to a very informative space that I went on with Martin Shkreli. And when I first heard about him, he was on the news years ago before he went to jail, which I still don't really know what he went to jail for, but he was obviously demonized in the news. But he seems like he's kind of an asshole a little bit, but that's, he's a traitor. Um, so that might be good. So he had a good space on yesterday on quantum computing, and he is very interesting in this space because he is. Oh shoot! I just realized that my face is covering up everything. Let me see if I can fix this. There we go. All right now. So Shkreli had a space, and he's an interesting character in the space because he loves quantum computing. He's a huge nerd about it, but then he also decided that he's also a big short seller, so he decided he wanted to short all these quantum stocks because he knew that they weren't delivering. And he's actually he said that one of his side projects is he wants to be the first guy to hack Bitcoin. He says that he doesn't want to steal anything, but it's like kind of a notoriety thing that he would really love to be that person. So he's actually out there using quantum computing. So IBM has quantum cloud, and he says that they do offer you access to their quantum boxes, which is cool. So you could actually go out and use a quantum computer right now. However, they're still very small, and he says that they can't even factor like a small prime number like 99 yet. So, but some of these other quantum stocks that went up 200, 500%. They have quantum boxes that aren't working. You can see. So here's his post about like things that are 50 qubit Amazon. He says this is all fake. Rigetti is the kind of the biggest short selling company that he's short selling. He says they're like a shit company. Basically, he says that quantum is something that is being developed by large companies. So IBM is the leader. And they do like research projects, and they have the funding to do research. Whereas the smaller companies are actually kind of crappy projects that couldn't get private funding. They're kind of like the outcasts that went public. So basically, yeah, there was a big bubble in quantum computing. I think that's breaking. But of course, in crypto space, we all like Vitalik is posting about the inevitability of quantum. I think there's a consensus, even with Martin, that within at least a decade. It could be a decade. It could be sooner, depending on developments. We are looking at a quantum crisis, coming at us in the crypto space. Yeah. So Martin has like a very skeptical position about quantum, although he is very up on it and he actually uses it. So it was an interesting dialogue. He had people coming in. So you guys want to check it out if you're interested in sort of getting a very objective snapshot of the quantum computing market as it stands, and sort of a balanced view of it. And then people were sending him kind of this article from Barron's, which covers Microsoft, saying that this is the year of quantum. So there's hype and anti-hype on both sides, and some of the hype is fake, but some of the anti-hype is also fake. So Jensen posted, he like his statements, and I think Zuck said something similar at the same time, where they were saying quantum is still decades away. Okay, but on the other hand, here's a shout out to Ian Smith, our partner here with QEVM. He was posting about how even though NVIDIA thinks it's decades away, they actually have job openings out there for quantum engineers. So obviously NVIDIA is, maybe Jensen was doing like a sneaky move to like tamp down the price so that he could invest in quantum technology. So quantum is coming. These are not the quantum chips you're looking for, says NVIDIA. So all that's going on in the quantum market, but I think we're full speed ahead with other aspects of the narrative that are very conducive to Cellframe. And this is one of them. Locally, if your AI girlfriend is not a locally running fine-tuned model, she's a prostitute. But this gets to something deep, right? I mean, people do want to run there is an opportunity to run AI models locally. I think that's becoming more and more talked about. And part of that is part of that is you don't want to give your most intimate life to a cloud company like ChatGPT, right? They're essentially cloud company. They're hardware and their software layer running on a cloud that they're building of ASICs. And so do you want to give all your girlfriend's say you want an AI girlfriend and you want to give all that data to Mr. Sam Altman? Okay, is that a face you can trust? No, but so maybe you don't want to give your most intimate details to a cloud. Maybe you have other reasons for wanting to run your AI locally, and so this is something that gets me into a broader thing of so from the AI girlfriend moving out to AI agents in general. We're getting into a world now with a big narrative of what will autonomous AI agents, right? How will they interact with each other? And that's one of the big use cases for crypto as such. Why, people who still think crypto is bullshit and fiat is the way to go, you say, well, fiat rails, aren't really going to work with all these AI agents interacting with each other. What are they all going to have a bank account? Are they going to do KYC? There's not really the dollar fiat rails are meant for human beings, or there's a way to become a corporation. Obviously, you can have a corporate account, but it's much easier for bots, AI agents to just set up a crypto system to interact with each other. So this is somebody that I think we should raid. Honestly, this guy I am Ginger Trash, simp for Satoshi. Kind of an interesting character, but he's building this thing Truffle, which is a big ASIC, a big fat hardware computer that you can put on your desk and to run AI locally. And he's proposing that people will basically have agents that they train on their local hardware that they can then make money with, because other agents, if you have a specially trained agent, specially trained AI running on your local thing, other agents will, instead of doing the work themselves that they're bad at, they can find specialists that they can then pay to do that work for them. So your little agent isn't good at, say you have an agent that's good at like logistics, whatever. So you can pay some other agent. So I think this is perfect for Cellframe's use case, because this requires extreme high speed, extreme efficiency, and to plug in and to be able to utilize hardware. So to have that meshing between the payments and the compute, right? So this is the agent economy narrative, and I think, if you guys have I'm sure there's other things. I just came across this truffle project that I think fits, but you guys probably know way more than I do and can suggest other things in this vein or other areas where kind of an extremely high performance, high throughput crypto system like Cellframe could be extremely useful, and that we could start pitching to people like this, because he is looking for what kinds of networks should be used for his crypto layer. So he even set up a voting at one point. That's not it. So they're talking about P2P marketplaces. Anyway, so this guy Simp was Simp for Satoshi was talking about, well, what blockchain should I use, Ethereum or Solana? And people were coming in saying both sides. He had reasons why he didn't like Solana, reasons why he didn't like Ethereum. I think Cellframe would be a great thing to suggest to him, although I think maybe he wants a big project, obviously. But I think it's a good way, a great space for us to get our name out there. So yeah, Sim for Satoshi. Well-performing agents can mint new tokens. So he's basically saying that your agent can produce a token, and based on how good your agent is, that's gonna, that price of that token, it can be penalized if your agent sucks, if it's performing or outperforming what it says. If you have bad agents, you get slashed. You can bet on new capable agents. So this is an interesting space, y'all. I think you should look into it. I've got to look into what Vast AI is. They're talking about P2P GPU marketplace. So that's something also that Cellframe is, trying to build, these P2P marketplaces for computing power. So that's going to fit right in to this agent economy narrative, right? Because you might have an agent that's running locally, but maybe it needs, sometimes it needs more compute, so it goes out and buys that on a marketplace, right? Everything is financialized nicely that way. All right, everything looks good on the chat here. What's up to the chat? What's up, everybody? Imran, Cellframe to the moon, y'all. All right. And yeah, so Satoshi there. That's pretty much what I wanted to cover today. I'm trying to keep things short and sweet on these releases. So shout out Computer Blue. He's on the AI agents narrative already. Shout out to everyone I met on Twitter this week. One funny thing here is, which I didn't know, blew my mind, this guy posting totally off different topic, just in terms of Cellframe versus different Soldanas and Carlanas and Carbanas and all those other blockchains out there. Apparently Solana's public sale consisted of only 2% of supply. Okay, so this isn't, just to let you guys know, Cellframe is not like this at all. We have a huge, a majority of our tokens already diluted into the community. So we had an interaction, a great AMA with my German friend, Boomer, what was his name? Boomer Capital.